Hello friends, today we are going to make a delicious chocolate zucchini cake that is my favorite. And because I ripped out all of those zucchinis that I just showed you out of the garden, and I think there was like 24. So it's time to start using up the zucchini. So if you want a really moist, delicious chocolate cake, this is for you. Kids don't even realize there's zucchini in it. So this is my very favorite recipe. It's a taste of home recipe called chocolate zucchini cake. And if you want to screenshot that, you can, or I will leave it in the description box for you. Here, I'll zoom out so you can screenshot it if you want. And yeah, just look up taste of home zucchini chocolate cake recipe and it comes right up. And the frosting is amazing. So that's what I'm going to be making today. Okay, so all you need, you don't need my tea to get started, but this is the ingredients. Flour, oil, you can use any kind, I'm using olive oil, sugar, cinnamon, vanilla, baking powder, cocoa, Greek yogurt, evaporated milk, baking soda, butter or margarine, and some eggs. So you can save that recipe that I just showed you, but that's all that you need. Oh, and we can't forget the main star of the show here, zucchini. So I've just peeled a couple. We only need 2 cups. I'm probably going to use 2.5. I always use a little more. Oh, sounds like somebody wants to lay an egg. Anyway, too funny. So that's all we need. Sorry about that. The girls are extremely excited. I've got all of them almost ready to start laying. So yesterday, oh, I think I have it right here actually. We got our first little mini egg. It's a little bit little. I don't know if you can tell. But anyway, so cute. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my wet ingredients going here and put in the eggs, the yogurt, and the oil. Okay, so a 1/4 cup. You guys know me. I don't really measure perfect all the time, and it always turns out good. Okay, now 3/4 of a cup. So I've got a 1/4 cup of oil, and this is going to be 3/4 of a cup Greek yogurt, plain, no flavor. You don't want blueberry or strawberry flavored. Well, maybe you do, but I certainly don't. So I'm using the plain. And you can use any kind of oil that you want. I'm just using extra virgin olive oil because that's what I have. I suppose I do have canola oil, but I try not to use that very often because it's not that good for you. So I'm going to put the oil in there, and also 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That smells so good in here already. Sorry about the tomatoes. I'm going to be canning them probably this weekend. Let me know if you want to see a canning video of how I do my tomatoes. Just leave me a comment. Okay, so now I want to add the 2 cups of flour, and I don't want to mix this too much. I'm just going to mix it. I'm just going to mix this enough that it combines, and then that's it. I don't want to overmix it and make it tough. So the recipe actually calls for a square, here I'll show you, pan to make it, where did it go? Where's my picture? To make those, there you go, the chocolate cake in like a large rectangular pan. But I prefer to, I like to use a bundt pan, and it looks so pretty on a cake stand. Looks so much nicer than this rectangle pan. So I coat this quite well with oil spray. I'm just using the Costco stuff, and I'm gonna get this all put into my pan. And when you do, if you do choose to use a stoneware pan, you may have to cook it a little bit longer than the glassware, plus it's thicker, so it will need a little extra time. But doesn't our batter just look so good? Doesn't this look so yummy? It's gonna be so good. So I also have another video where I share 3 or 4 more ways to use up your zucchini. Zucchini fritters, zucchini boats, and zucchini muffins, I think. So I'll try and remember to leave a link below. And if you need more ideas for using up your zucchini from the garden, because when you get so many zucchinis, sometimes there's nothing left. Ideas, that you run out of ideas to use it all up, and you're stuck with tons of zucchini. I know we can only eat fried zucchini so many nights, so check out that other video for more ideas. Okay, my oven is almost to temperature. So I'm popping that in. I'm gonna put the timer on for 38 minutes, but you might only need 30 minutes if you're using the rectangular pan. So less is more. Check at 30 minutes before you add more time. Okay, so I've got my 1 cup sugar, and I'm adding a little bit more vanilla. And I'm going to add my can of evaporated milk. And I'm actually going to go get a little whisk and whisk this together. Let's grab that. This is perfect. Okay. I just want to get this to get blended a little bit, but we're going to put the warm butter in here with the chocolate too, so it will all come together. Okay. So I don't want to confuse you because the recipe calls for 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. So you can use chocolate chips, but I'm just using some more cocoa powder. I put in a 1/4 cup, a little bit less than that. So you might have to adjust your sugar if you're doing that. So I melted the butter, and I just like to do this while I'm waiting on the cake to cook, because then it's all ready. And this is just going to be so yummy, and the warm butter helps the granulated sugar start to melt, so you get rid of that granular bit. So I'm just going to keep stirring this while here and there while the cake is baking, and then we're almost ready. So I'm doing that in addition to adding the chocolate chips. I don't know, maybe I'm going chocolate overload, but so I'm just going to melt those a little bit in the microwave and add it to the mixture. Then what I do is I put all the mixture in the microwave for about 1 minute, warm it up so all the granular bits from the sugar dissolve, and then it's ready. I can't wait to get to these tomatoes because I'm in tomato overload right now, and I want to, it's just beautiful heirloom tomatoes. I want to get that up on my pantry shelf, so that's so exciting. And then maybe later on today, I'll start taking out some more cabbages. As it cools, it will thicken up because we warmed everything up to get rid of those granules, and then now it's cooling and it's going to start to thicken and come together nice. Okay, let's check this out. It's got 12 minutes left on the clock. Ooh, that's looking so nice. Still not cooked. So that I put it on for 38. So we will check it when that finishes. And remember, if you used a rectangle pan, you need to take it out a bit sooner if it's glass or something, even, or whatever it is, because it's thinner, and this is much deeper and thicker using a bundt pan. For us, we don't have the smaller can, and I just noticed in the comments, somebody says must use small can of evaporated milk. Well, last time I must have just read the measurements properly. This time I just went for it because I always use the same recipe. So anyway, don't make my mistake or you'll have double the frosting. But the other thing that you could do is make another cake in a different pan and have double the frosting and freeze one of the pans. So that's another idea. And this cake freezes excellent too. So quick note before I share the recipe, the frosting in the video makes enough for 2 pans if you follow my recipes. So if you want to double your batch and freeze a pan of the cake, it's a really good idea. It freezes excellent. So, and I'm going to be using mine in a bundt pan. And if you want to make a bundt pan and a 8.5 by 11 rectangular glass pan, you can do that too. So follow along with me and I'll explain after I make the frosting that I made a double batch. So just to let you know that this can of evaporated milk, if you don't want to make a double batch, is a tiny little can. If you're using a big can, you need to make 2 cakes or just use half a can of milk. But I don't like to have extra because I don't use it for anything else. So I might make 2 pans of cake. We'll see. Okay, so now that I told you about the evaporated milk, I've added an extra bag of chocolate chips. So you need 2, and it's starting to thicken up. And you can see on the edge, it's becoming a nice, and because it's not a super thick icing anyways, but it's coming. Now you can see it's really thickening up. Nice. And so do not pour this on your cake until your cake is 100% cool. Okay, this looks so good. And when you press on it, it bounces back. And that took a total of 47 minutes in the bundt pan. But remember, if you're going to use the other pan, it's going to be around 30 minutes. It's just because this is so thick. So I'm going to let this completely cool, and then I will get the frosting going, and it's looking so good. So that, as that cools, that's going to thicken even more, and it's going to be so delicious. Another idea, if you accidentally made a double batch of the frosting like I did, is to freeze half a batch of frosting for next time. Freezes very well, because I've made this cake quite a bit and froze it before with the icing.